Holy cow, man. Breaking news, guys. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has reportedly been indicted by a grand jury following a federal corruption investigation. This is freaking huge, okay? And the timing of this is just a little bit suspect, to say the least, all right? This is just days after Sean Diddy Combs was arrested on multiple charges.
Shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise, and they actually named it in the indictment, the Combs Enterprise. And they said that this enterprise consisted of him as the alleged leader, his employees, assistants, staff, allegedly, that were able to procure women and alleged male sex workers to engage in performances for his own sexual gratification.
Oh, there you have it, family. And this is another clip.
Detention center in Brooklyn, New York, as he waits to watch. Call it routine. So it's not like a big deal, LA time. Nah, just
among their members. If the big senior...
Rob, let's go to the next story here. P. Diddy, okay, is nonstop. More things are coming out with P. Diddy. So I'll read one of the stories, and then, Vinny, I'm just going to come to you.
Okay.
You can talk about some of this stuff. Sean Diddy Combs placed on suicide watch at New York jail. Sources call it routine. So it's not like a big deal, LA time. Nah, just a regular thing. We put guys on suicide watch.
Well, he is on suicide watch. But look at it, family. Just a couple weeks after the announcement that Donald Trump's sentencing was postponed so as not to be construed as interfering with an election, okay? Wouldn't want those election interference allegations floating around, would we? Right, family? Well, Eric Adams has not been as supportive of Kamala Harris as they wanted him to be, okay? But maybe Eric Adams just doesn't think she's going to be a good president. I don't know. I mean, even Oprah Winfrey, and this is the interview of Oprah Winfrey and Kamala Harris, had to yank the mic from word solid Kamala Harris just to keep her on topic as she kept veering off track during Oprah's interview. And now even Stephen A. Smith, as I present to you guys, where is that? Stephen A. Smith, for instance, was talking about the freak-offs. And he mentioned, I just want to cite my sources, family, so I want to show you that he did mention about the freak-offs, or admitting that this is bigger than Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to play the video because, it's, I don't want no copyright or anything. But I just want to show you guys. I just want to show you guys. This is Stephen A. Smith talking about it. And all right, Max, maybe I'll give a little glimpse.
And you squeeze. You squeeze. Complicated. You find somebody's sore spot and you squeeze. You squeeze. Sean P. Diddy Combs.
There you go, family. So basically he said you squeeze Sean Diddy Combs. So Stephen A. Smith was 100% correct when he called it. This is bigger than Diddy. And there's a lot more heads that will be rolling. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, please take a second to hit that like button. And I totally appreciate you guys. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. So the New York Times just reported on Wednesday night, just hours ago, that Eric Adams had became the first sitting mayor in the New York City's history to face a criminal indictment. And that's just mind-boggling, family. Check this out.
Bring you now more news, more New York officials calling on Mayor Eric Adams to resign here because of all of this. I want to put this up. You see there from the New York Times that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said Eric Adams should resign as mayor of New York City for the good of the city because she becomes the most prominent Democrat to push for his ouster amid federal corruption investigations involving his administration. So, AOC says this: I do not see how Mayor Adams can continue governing New York City. The flood of resignations and vacancies are threatening government function. Nonstop investigations will make it impossible to recruit and retain a qualified administration. That's just part.
That's just, you see this, guys? This is exactly what I'm talking about. When you turn back, or when you turn your back, I should say, as a Democrat, when you turn your back on the Democratic Party, the Democratic Party will remove you, okay? And this is why we're seeing multiple calls for Eric Adams or Mayor Eric Adams removal, okay, guys? And then they're trying to remove this guy because he's no longer playing along. Now we seen Diddy parties and social gatherings and with many of the Democratic elites. For example, we have Hillary Clinton here with Diddy, as I present to you guys. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Al Sharpton, Oprah Winfrey, just to name a few, right? And then now I present to you, family, a video of Kamala Harris actually giving gratitude to Sean Diddy Combs.
Hey everybody, it's good to be with you this evening. Sean, I want to thank you because you always have a way of convening and bringing folks together. And
I think we all have emotion because
that was one clip, and then I'm going to fast forward to Al Sharpton, okay, when he gives his input on Sean Diddy Combs, or Mr. Combs.
Let me first thank Diddy for convening us. And since I've known him since he was a teenager, he's always stood in the gap and never really got the credit he should have as the cultural icon that he is. I'm not surprised he did it, but it couldn't have been a more timely way of bringing us together. And I really love him for doing this.
We have to be selfish, finally, for our communities.
But the question is, did the Diddler leak details about Eric Adams in an attempt to get out of jail? I mean, Eric Adams' indictment is still sealed at this time, so your guess is better than mine, family. But Eric Adams has said in a statement, quote unquote, and I would like to actually present the statement to you. That's Mayor Eric Adams we're talking about. But he said in a statement, and I want to get to that point. And he said, I will always knew that if I stood my ground for New Yorkers, that I would be a target, and a target I became. If I am charged, I am innocent, and I will fight this with every ounce in strength and spirit, end quote. That's what he said, family. And I'll pull the quote up because that is not the quote. That's just me fast forwarding in the video. This will show you guys a credible source, and what I'm saying is actually legitimate, and I'm not making this up because I always like to cite my sources, because that's just the right thing to do. So you can see it and not just me. Okay. So here we go. This is the quote that I just quoted from Mr. Mayor Eric Adams. I always knew if I stood my ground for New Yorkers that I'll be a target. And that was the quote, right? So Diddy's multiple request for bail, we all know, has been denied, as Sean Diddy Combs is feeling like he's basically thrown into the deep end of the pool without a life vest. Many people are now speculating that Diddy may have outed Eric Adams as possibly having some involvement in Diddy's operations, possibly engaging in Diddy's freak-offs. And we cannot confirm this just yet, but I can say that I'll really be surprised. In a pre-recorded video statement, Eric Adams said that he will request an immediate trial so that the New Yorkers can hear the truth, while rejecting calls to resign and asking residents for their prayers and patience. And Eric Adams played a pretty muted role in Kamala Harris' campaign. And I repeat, Eric Adams played a pretty muted role in Kamala Harris' campaign after the Democratic Party individuals have decided to host the DNC in Chicago and not in the Big Apple. Now, I could just imagine how Eric Adams, mayor of New York, felt when his city, New York City was overlooked when this fellow sanctuary city of Chicago was selected to host the DNC instead of New York. Obviously, he felt a little bit shortchanged and overlooked. And Eric Adams on multiple occasions refused to answer questions about Kamala Harris' presidential campaign. Seems like he's a little bit salty that the DNC didn't get held in New York City, and this along with a clear lack of support for Kamala Harris' run for president is definitely making it look like Eric Adams is defiant here. But yeah, so basically what happens is when you don't play along, it looks like you lose protection. And now just days after Diddy's arrest have sparked widespread talk about who's all going to be down as a massive celebrity list of those who were involved in Sean Diddy Combs' freak-off party gets revealed. Is Eric Adams part of this Sting family? Comment down below. Do you believe it's true or not that he may be a part of it? Mayor Eric Adams a part of Sean Diddy Combs' freak-off? Well, only time would tell. But 50 Cent teamed up with Netflix to create a documentary series of P. Diddy's secret life, and America's about to see behind the curtain, family. And I just want to go back to the video that I want to show you guys as they speak more on it.
He's in custody right now at Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, as he awaits a trial on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, and was placed on suicide watch by officials. The source said that the suicide was routine. The Metropolitan Detention Center, which has housed inmates like R. Kelly and Epstein. Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, has a history of violence and squalid conditions. Prosecutors unsealed their indictments against Combs on Tuesday, charging him with sex trafficking and racketeering, a bunch of other things, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Vinny, I can go to the next one. Diddy as bad as Epstein, as cop called Rooms with Hidden Cameras on the freak off. Kim Porter's book comes out. Diddy.
Okay, so we'll stop it there because I'll get back to that. But he just said Diddy as bad as Epstein. And as cops were called with hidden cameras. And everyone is talking about it right now. The shocking arrest of Sean Diddy Combs and the unbelievable fallout that's dragging some of the biggest names. The biggest names. I mean, the biggest names in the entertainment industry, right? I want you guys to check this video out. It's very, very interesting. I think it will actually be mind-boggling for you as it was for me. With no further ado, check this out, family.
From no energy. I give haters no energy. Steve ain't this. He think he this. You don't even know me.
Everyone is talking about it right now. The shocking arrest of Sean Diddy Combs and the unbelievable fallout that's dragging some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry along with him. But there's one name in particular that's left everyone in disbelief. Steve Harvey. Yes, the same Steve Harvey that we all know from family-friendly TV shows like Family Feud and his long-standing career as a comedian and talk show host. The same Steve who has built an image as a clean, respectable, almost fatherly figure in the entertainment world. But behind that polished persona, it seems there may be a much darker side.
Clearly, there is a criminal investigation underway, and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
The bombshell news dropped like a ton of bricks when Diddy was arrested in Manhattan. Federal agents took him in on charges that sound like they're straight out of a crime thriller: racketeering, conspiracy, human exploitation, and more.
Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
This was huge. Diddy's business empire has spanned music, fashion, television, and nightlife for decades, but the arrest has blown a hole in the image of the music mogul everyone thought they knew. As more details surfaced, whispers started to swirl. A lot of people began to wonder how many others could be involved in this mess. And then, boom, the rumor hit the internet like wildfire. Steve Harvey, the beloved host and comedian, had fled the country the exact same day Diddy was taken into custody. Coincidence? Not likely.
I've had clients.
Wow. Harvey fled the country just days after. Just days after Diddy was arrested. What is going on here, guys? You got Eric Adams getting slapped with this indictment. I mean, Eric Adams can go to jail. Eric Adams can go to jail. And so Eric Adams was slapped with this indictment. Diddy was arrested and is currently being held without bail. And now we're getting rumors that Steve Harvey has fled the country just days. And now keep in mind, this is celebrity list is long from what we're hearing. Now, of course, you know, there's a lot of details have yet to come out, but this celebrity list from what we're hearing includes politicians, A-list celebrities, dignitaries. There are a lot of people on this list that don't want to be found, okay? So if we start seeing a massive wave of people exiting the United States, fleeing the country, I mean, what is one to think? Maybe they're getting ahead of what they're knowing is going to come down the pipeline. Let's get out the country. Look what they did to P. Diddy. You know what I'm saying? So let me get out the country so where I can be extradited if the names happen to show up on this celebrity list of folks who are participating or engaged in Diddy freak-off parties. I don't know, but you can't ignore this, right? You can't ignore it. And they're here. And here's the thing, guys. When the FBI gets involved in investigations like this, they don't do half jobs. They don't do half action things. The FBI will typically do their research and gather mountains and mounds of evidence for years before the FBI actually goes to engage to attempt an arrest or take down any organization or key members within organizations. So if the FBI decided to finally make a move on P. Diddy, I mean, look, his Miami home, his California home. I mean, he did say, he said he sold or he's in the process of selling his plane and moving to New York. I mean, he's already in jail right now, but basically he's trying to prove that, hey, look, I'm not trying to flee the country. I'm not trying to sell my plane. I'm not trying to run away, but I don't want to stay in these horrible prison conditions. Basically, that's what he's saying. So that's the current state of Sean Diddy Combs right now. And I want to present to you guys something that I feel like is very, 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 very interesting. Man, oh man. As we digest all this information, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to embrace and take in here. But check this out, family. Check this video out.
All of a sudden, pictures like this one and this one have been getting leaked all over the internet, and they're exposing celebs like Stevie J, Jay-Z, J-Lo, Aaliyah, Young Miami, and Cuba Gooding Jr. Now, everyone's thinking that it's just a coincidence. But remember when the judge rejected Diddy bail so that he wouldn't give his employees secret codes that could get him out of this mess again? Well, during the court hearing, Diddy passed some signs to his family members, and all of a sudden, it seems like the blackmail has begun. First, let me show what went down in court, because Diddy might be a step ahead of us, y'all. Diddy pleads and rats out his friends. In a not-so-shocking turn of events, Diddy's bail has been rejected by the court. The reason this time? Disturbing text messages he sent to his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The latest chapter in Diddy's legal saga began earlier this year when he was arrested on charges of harassment and threats against his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The charges stemmed from a series of disturbing text messages that Diddy allegedly sent to Cassie after their breakup. This was Diddy's second appearance in a New York City courtroom, and this time he appeared more sober and willing to apologize.
So you guys seen that, right? And then I bring you guys this special news, family. And this is with Eric Adams, of course.
Good evening. I'm Byron Pitts in New York. We have breaking news this evening. New York Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury, according to sources familiar with the matter. Let's go straight to senior investigative correspondent Aaron Kontersky on the phone with the very latest. Aaron, what can you tell us?
Byron, we just heard a statement from Mayor Adams saying, I always knew that if I stood my ground for New Yorkers, that I would be a target, and a target I became. If I am charged, I am innocent, and I will fight this with every ounce of my strength and spirit. A statement of defiance a moment ago from Mayor Adams to ABC News after word came that he has been indicted by a federal grand jury in New York. Byron, this follows a 10-month investigation into corruption. It began with an investigation into the mayor's fundraising from his 2021 campaign and whether his campaign took illegal foreign money, particularly from Turkey, in exchange for official favors by Eric Adams. And the investigation has more recently ballooned into a broader corruption inquiry involving some of his top deputy mayors and others in his inner circle.
Aaron, we all recall that months ago.
Now, of course, guys, we have to question everything, right? We have to question, why is this suddenly coming up now? Why is this coming up right before the presidential election? Why is this coming up only days after P. Diddy was arrested and is now being held without bail? There's a reason for all of this. Every time, like, we seen these patterns, okay, guys? And we also had our suspicions that there were a number of folks who were involved. Let's just legitimately charging Donald Trump for a multitude of crimes that really should have never been brought to the courtrooms. And again, just weeks after Donald Trump, with multiple court cases in New York City. In fact, Donald Trump has had multiple successful rallies in New York, which New York is quite a blue state. They typically don't support Republicans. With Donald Trump is different here. So a lot of heads are starting to roll. And again, the timing of all this is suspicious, to say the least, family. So I want you to check out this last video, which is very interesting, and the points that's going to be made. I want you guys to check out. It'll start out with a little bit of what we already seen and get into the nitty-gritty.
Jail. Sources call it routine. So it's not like a big deal, LA time. Just a regular thing. We put guys on suicide watch. He's in custody right now at Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, as he awaits a trial on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, and was placed on suicide watch by officials. Cameras on the freak off. Kim Porter's book comes out. Diddy talks locking women in a freak off party and resurfaced clip. What new things have you found that maybe we should know about?
It's not necessarily new, Pat, but it's like just look at this pattern. We've seen it before, and everybody, I'm telling you right now, everybody in the music industry and everybody in Hollywood knew about this. Okay, there's no BSing about it, Pat. I knew about this guy when I was in Hollywood, and there's some other people that I know that have these type of parties. I don't know about the cameras that I would never go to, and I was warned not to go to. Okay, it's no secret. Just like Epstein, just like Harvey Weinstein, and everybody knew. Look at how many videos, and everybody praised them. Michelle Obama, Barack, all the videos are surfacing with him and Diddy and all these people. Even Usher, Pat. Usher deleted his Twitter account. Deleted it, right? Or took everything down. He deleted a bunch of, I think, 7,000 tweets, and then came back a day later and he put...
Me again?
He wrote, account got hacked, and damn, y'all ran with it. It's not a secret. I'm tired of everybody playing this game, okay?
Well, actually, read the comments on what people said. Let's see what people said, like if they bought it or not.
Okay, yeah.
The old...
Did he hack your butt?
The old... the account got attacked and hacked.
That's the first one. That's security. Keep going, Robbie. So crazy how he got hacked, but instead of posting crazy stuff, the hacker just deleted your post and Diddy got arrested. And all the stuff with Justin Bieber. So weird, we all ran with it. Right, bro? Nobody's buying that, dude. So, Pat, the majority of these... Pink said the same thing.
That's the best one.
Yeah, but guys, Pink and somebody else, they deleted their stuff a little while back. But Usher, in his own words on the Howard Stern show, like when I tell you guys, these demons hide in plain sight, like Diddy, he said on Howard Stern, Puffy would have his parents send him to flavor camp at 13 years old. Your parents are sending you to a camp with a grown man, Pat. I know, I'm around you all the time. I know you're your kids, and I know you trust me, and I love you. Would you ever send your 13? Would you send Tico?
Stop it.
Are you freaking nuts? I don't care how famous he is. And in this interview, Rob, you don't have to play. He says, Howard Stern's like, I bet you there was girls and orgies. And he's talking to him as he's 13. And he said, there was very curious things happen. And then you got a video of Usher and Diddy in his bedroom with Kevin Hart, and he's interviewing him. And he said, I would wake up in the morning with Usher in the morning, and then he catches himself, and it's a moment where they're all laughing and it's all a joke. And I think, in my opinion, Pat, one of the ones that affects me the most is Justin Bieber. This kid, to me, it looks like he has gone through hell.
By the way, do you have the Kevin Hart one?
Yeah, I sent it to you, Robbie.
Yeah, I'm finding it right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Which is odd, Pat, because he gets caught saying that he would wake up next to him, and then he changes it and says we would fight off over the Frosted Flakes. Even Kevin Hart is uncomfortable because you're admitting that you were sleeping next to a freaking child. And it's like, I'm tired of hearing all these stories, and people just laugh about it. We giggle. Like, this is it right here, Pat. Go ahead, Robbie.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and I mean, damn, pause.
Look,
but like,
pause.
I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was
10 years
a little
old.
bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the
Kevin
frosted
Hart.
flakes. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Wow. Man, and again, a lot of folks are saying when Diddy was recently arrested, he's letting the cat out the bag, all right? And he's snitching on people and he's saying whatever he's got to say to get out of this thing. Because now and again, like I said, Stephen A. Smith, he called it, Diddy is not even the big fish that they're after. Diddy is a small part of a much larger network that the FBI wants to take down part of. Wants to take down part of. And Linda Smith has the new statement that Mayor Eric Adams firing back at the AOC. So I want you guys to check this out next as we go into that. But Diddy is not the big fish here. I agree with Stephen A. Smith. Let's continue, family, as we get into this right here. This is Linda Smith that I just referred, but let's get into it. Rewind a little bit further. Okay.
That's just part of her statement there on social media. Linda Schmidt has the new statement. Mayor Eric Adams firing back at AOC here. We have it. Let's take that live here. Let's take that full. This is how Mayor Adams is responding to this, saying for anyone who self-righteously claims people charged with serious crimes should not be in jail, to now say that the second black mayor of New York should resign because of rumors and innuendo without even a single charge being filed is the height of hypocrisy. I am leading this city to protect it from exactly that kind of phony politics. The people of this city elected me to fight for them, and I will stay and fight no matter what. Okay, we are getting some breaking news in right now. This is quite something. Okay, this is coming to us from the New York Times, and this is quite stunning. I had just said in this entire...
Listen, family. Now, obviously the indictment is still sealed. And there's a lot of information that needs to come out before we can really make any confirmations. But I think it's just interesting that he indicates that, the second black mayor of New York should resign because of rumors and innuendo. I mean, is it? I just see the pattern of always going immediate to race. They like to say and all of those things, right? And the pattern always end up going into identity politics for some reason. And maybe it's a race thing. I'm talking about like a race within elections. I don't know. And like I said, the Democratic Party may just be wanting to get rid of them or remove them. And, I just think it's really early to pull the card or pull the race card and, Merrick Adams' stance, which I feel like is not even reasonable. And I think a little bit more information needs to come out to actually prove that this is tied to his candidate race, not race, as in identity politics, but candidate race. Because I personally don't think it's about his color, but whatever. And look at Kamala Harris. She's black, right? She says she's black. So it's like, it can be, in other cases, being black or labeling yourself, even if you're not really black, as black can, I guess, be harmful depending on the context in which Mayor Eric Adams is trying to use it. But I don't know, man. This is breaking news, guys. A lot coming out. I'm going to bring it to you guys as it comes and be informative as possible. By the way, if you haven't had a second, please take a second to like this video. I totally appreciate it, you guys. And on that note, family, peace.